What's going on, guys? Kirk here for Motogear TV, and today the topic of discussion is going to be what's been going on with the G82 M4 and what are going to be the plans for the build. I know there's been a lot of debate around this, especially for me, trying to figure out what we want to do, where we want to go. And obviously I'm going to try and address the lack of content over the past few weeks. There's a lot that's been going on, but honestly the main contributing factor has been, well, the horrible Florida weather. You see, guys, as content creators, a lot of people don't really realize that, you know, for us, we don't really have a studio. So a lot of times we're shooting outside, and living in Florida, especially central Florida, it rains a lot, especially during the summertime. Now, I specifically got my M4 in the beginning of July, and honestly, over the last few weeks, we've been traveling. The weather hasn't been that great. Not only that, there's also been a lot of delays in getting certain type of parts that I need for the build to start. And that's really the majority of what's been holding it up. Now, if you guys haven't seen the reveal video of the M4, make sure you guys go and check it out. Now, just to give you guys a quick recap, this is a 2021 G82 M4 non-competition. This is a 6-speed manual, and that also means that it's rear-wheel drive. Now, for me personally, in getting this car, it was never about purely feeding into what's trending right now. For me, having this car, especially with the S58 platform being such a new engine, there's a lot of opportunity to make content, not only with new mods, but also just to document the process. I know a lot of people, when they get this car, they typically want to go for straight line speed, getting the X-Drive model. For me, I wanted to take a different route, kind of showcasing just what the manual version is all about. I've always loved manual cars. Most of my cars that I've had in the past have actually been manuals. So for me, getting into a new M car, and also with this being possibly one of the last manual M cars that are going to have on the market, it was a no-brainer. Now, specifically when it comes to modifying it, I do want to take this car in stages, kind of going through, you know, all of the things that I've noticed, especially over the last few weeks of ownership. There are things that I do want to improve on and overall enhance, not only visually, but also how the car handles and drives. So far, there aren't a lot of complaints, but there are a few things I do want to address, and I'll show you guys right now. Now, in going through the plans for the build, I do want to take this in stages, kind of like my previous builds with the M2 and the 335i. For me, aesthetics is everything, and not only that, also putting mods that make a difference functionally and visually. The main thing I do want to enhance on this car, and a lot of people have said it in the past, is the front end. Obviously, with the new addition of the big grille, the pig nose, anything you want to call it, it's not the most flattering, and there are a lot of options that you can go for. As you guys should know, we did launch our MGG carbon line specifically for the G80 platform, where we do offer a variety of carbon fiber pieces that are going to enhance the overall look of the car, from the front end, the rear end, the side, and also the interior. Now, over the next few weeks, we're going to be showcasing some more videos, kind of going over everything that's in the carbon program, not only because it is my brand, but also because I do want to showcase our products on the car. You know, this is a content car for us, and being able to showcase new products that we're coming out with is that much better. Now, starting off visually, I do want to add some carbon fiber accessories on it, but I don't want to go too overboard. If you guys know me, I do like to have a little bit of carbon fiber accents here and there, but also tie in some gloss black elements, and that's pretty much what we're going to do by fixing up the front end. Now, I do want to get a brand new grille, front lip, new air inlets. I am looking to possibly do some carbon fiber on the mirror caps, carbon fiber spoiler, possibly doing the side skirts, and also the diffuser. Now, again, I am going to be mixing elements of carbon fiber and gloss black, especially because this is a dark blue car. I think having those accents would tie in and make it look that much better. In addition to adding some of the carbon fiber and aero pieces, I am going to be also lowering the car and adding some wheel spacers. Now, in the near future, we are going to be adding a set of aftermarket wheels to the car. Still debating what type of style and wheel I want to go with. Now obviously there's a lot of good options on the market. I have used brands like BBS, Apex, Vossen in the past, so most likely it's going to be one of those options, or I might look into something brand new that I haven't really considered. Now specifically when it comes to suspension, there are a lot of options that I can go with. You have lowering springs, you have coilovers, you have height adjustable springs. For those of you who are looking to do something like that, it really depends on what the purpose of the car is going to be. For me right now, I think I just want to have it lowered just for the aesthetics. I am looking to possibly do a coilover setup in the near future, but for right now I think a spring setup is just going to suit me just fine. I have heard a lot of good and bad comments about the height adjustable springs. The reviews out there are very mixed, and for me personally, I just want something that's going to be an easy setup, not too much hassle. I do know that you get the up and down adjustability of the height adjustable springs, but if I had to choose, I would just go to a full coilover setup. Now the one thing I will say, and I do love about this platform especially, is that the aftermarket support has been tremendous. There's so many different brands offering so many different types of parts for this car, and you really can't go wrong with anything that you choose. I want to make sure that I am choosing things that are not only unique but also speak true to what I have envisioned for the car. I don't really want to do things that are just going to impress people. For me, that's not really been my style. I want to do things that are going to add some functionality, be a conversation starter, and also improve how the car handles and performs. And the great thing about having a car like this is that over the next few months, as we're improving, as we're adding on parts, it's really going to feel like a brand new car all over again. I know there's content creators out there that just throw all the mods on it all at one time. I don't really want to do it that way. I want to enjoy it in stages, visually, performance-wise, and that's really what we're going to aim to do. Now, when it comes to sound of the car, exhaust has been a very big topic, especially for this car. There are a few different options you can go with, from having a valve rear section. Also with the mid pipes, you can do equal length or you can do a single mid pipe. Both are going to give you various sound pitches and various frequencies in tone. Now this one for me is going to be really hard to decide. I have heard a few different systems in the past, but I still want to do some more research in making sure that I get the right exhaust with the right sound. You can go anywhere from top of the line, Akrapovic, Active AutoWorks, you can do Valvetronic, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure when you're making those decisions, you're doing your proper research, it's within your budget, and at the end of the day, you're happy with what you get. Now obviously when I decide to go with the parts that I go with, I am going to give you guys a good reason as to why I chose it, why I went with the company, and what the quality offers. Remember, at the end of the day, your build should be your own. This is going to be my personal recommendation for what should go on the car. I want to set this thing apart and make it really stand out, and it's not going to be cheap, and that's going to be another thing that may or may not be a hindrance as far as developing the build. And we are going to be putting things that are going to be somewhat affordable on the car, but there are a lot of other things that especially go in the front of the car that are going to be pretty expensive. Let me show you. Now, when it comes to this bad boy, the S58 motor, guys, there's a lot of different directions you can go with it. You can do hybrid turbo, you can do full bolt-on with intakes, you can do big single turbo. Honestly, the possibilities are endless, and it can also add up in price. Now, I do have a good idea as to where I want to go with the car power-wise. It would be absolutely amazing to do a big top-mount single turbo setup on this car, but the cost right now for me may not be in the books to do it right away. However, I do want to take, as I said, the car in stages, doing some aftermarket updates on the engine with the intakes. Most likely next year getting the ECU unlocked, and from there kind of seeing exactly how I want the car to perform. Now obviously this car is rear wheel drive and it's manual, so it's never gonna be the fastest thing in a straight line. I bought this car mainly for the enjoyment and being able to go through gears and just having a really good engaging driving experience. I don't know about you guys, but you don't need 800 horsepower to enjoy your car. These cars, even out of the box, they're pretty potent. They offer a lot of power, and for the everyday driver who's just going to be taking it out on the street, occasionally on the weekend and maybe a few track days here and there, you really don't need more than 600 horsepower to really enjoy yourselves. If it's that you're looking for more power, obviously go the upgraded turbo route. But for me specifically, I want to do small updates as we progress and seeing where it goes. Now, beyond the aesthetics and also the engine and the exhaust, I think the last thing that we're probably going to focus on in stage 1 of this build is to maybe do something on the interior. I did mention, as you guys should know, I do not have bucket seats. The Comfort Sport seats have been great. They hold me really good in place, even for my build. I'm not really a big person, and the adjustability of the bolsters really works good for me. I don't have any complaints right there. I will say, if there's anything I wanted to update, especially in the interior of the car, it would be these two things: the shift knob and also the steering wheel. Now, there are a few options that you can go with. I personally want something that kind of ties into the overall theme of the interior. There's a lot of silver trim pieces in there, and I do want to add some Alcantara. So most likely what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be updating the steering wheel. There are a few options you can go with, either the LCI steering wheel, or you can do something more race inspired like a JQ Works steering wheel. Either option is really up to your preference. Personally, I'm still debating on what direction I want to go, but I do know one thing's for sure: I do want to get an Alcantara steering wheel. And same thing with the shift knob. There are a lot of weighted options. You do have the M Performance options, and you do also have some aftermarket options that you can go with. Right now, I'm more leaning towards the BMW M Performance option. They do offer one with Alcantara and stainless steel. I think I'm going to be going for that. Also, lastly, the pedals is something I do want to update. I know, I don't know about you, but I don't really like how the stock pedals are. I don't think the rubber grips on it are that grippy. I do find myself, especially with certain types of sneakers, sliding around a little bit more, so I would want to upgrade my pedals to something that grips you a little bit better. Other than that, I'm still debating if I want to add some carbon fiber onto the interior. I do like the stock trim. I haven't really seen a lot of G80s with it. I do think it stands out a little bit more, because honestly, a lot of people do have carbon fiber interiors, and if I do it, it's not going to be something that really sticks out. Now, lastly, most likely I'll probably want to swap out these seat belts. Now, the black is cool, but I think we can add some pop of color to it. Overall, the theme of this car, I did want to make it very OEM plus, kind of hinting to some of these colors right here, as you guys can see, with a silver, a touch of red, and also obviously blue, because the car is, well, blue. Now, for me personally, I've always been about the details, and I'm not going to mention some of the small details I'm going to be adding on the car, but you're going to see them pop up as the build progresses. I'm really looking forward to seeing my vision come to reality, and most likely stage 1 of this build will be ready by Beamer Invasion next year in Florida. Alright, now I do want to wrap this video up by saying I do want to do this car justice. As I mentioned before, I'm doing the mods and the build for myself, for you guys to appreciate, of course. And I do want to take it in stages and do it the right way. There's a lot of people out there who just buy parts or buy the wrong things and have to do things twice. I don't really want to do things twice. I do really want to take my time and make the right choices. And you guys need to realize that these cars, and any car in general or any build in general, it doesn't have to be quick, it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be super cheap. Take the time to do the research, make sure you're making the right decision, watch reviews, go on YouTube, take some advice from guys like us, and really ensure that at the end of the day, you're enjoying the build. I know personally I'm going to enjoy my build, and I hope you guys are looking forward to all of the mods that are coming for the G82. Trust me, don't underestimate the 6-speed manual. The car has a lot of potential. I'm really excited to seeing everything that's going to be happening, and I really can't wait to get this thing started. Now, speaking of that, the first mods are actually going to be going on next weekend. Hopefully the weather holds up. I'm really hoping that the first set of mods really enhance the overall look of the car. I hope you guys will enjoy it. I hope you guys stay tuned, because we got more to come. There's a lot more in store, so be sure to check out motogeargarage.com. Stay tuned for more geared up content, and until then guys, we're gone.